Hey everybody, so this is a basic introductory video to how we can use the Eliza framework to make our own customized agents. So let's just dive right into the documentation. To begin with, what is Eliza? Well, this is the introduction given in the documentation, but I have kind of made a basic diagram to kind of understand what eliza is. So eliza is essentially a framework for being able to create your own customized agents along with all kinds of cool integrations. So let's look into its core components. So it's got the character system, which kind of is for defining the behaviors, the rules, and the personality of the agent you're trying to build. Further, we've got the memory system where, we can kind of give the AI agent a context, whether it's a rack kind of context, or you can kind of give just a prior context and also a long-term storage of all the context or all the learnings it goes through as the AI agent evolves. So that's the basic crux of the memory system. And coming to the multi-agent system is basically just what Eliza is majorly known for. You can have either a single agent or multiple agents, with each agent having its own character files with different personalities and different functionalities. Further, of course, it's got its own clients and actions, which we'll further dive into in the upcoming videos. And then the most crucial aspect, the platform clients, which are supported or kind of which are basically all kinds of different external platform integrations that can be carried out with Eliza, with Discord bots or Twitter kind of a Twitter agent for different purposes, or a Telegram bot, or different API integrations. So this is the core framework and core understanding of what Eliza is and what we can kind of achieve with Eliza, and we can further kind of go through the documentation, which I'm gonna share out there in the exaclidraw. It also has PDF reading, analysis, audio transcription, video content processing, and all kinds of other cool stuff. And of course, it's got flexible model support, where you can either use a model locally or cloud-based inference models, OpenAI, Cloud, Gaia, etc. So it's fully in TypeScript, and yeah, let's just dive right into how we can get started with it. So looking at the quick start. So as this is a quick video to just essentially get started and get the agent running, I'm not going to dive into the prerequisite installations. I'm going to drop some useful links for tutorials, or like links for installing these prerequisites. So once these prerequisites are there on your machine, we can just go ahead and clone the repo. And which I've already done. It takes a while. So once that's done, we can of course cd into the folder, the repo that we just cloned, and further, just to make sure that it's at the latest release, we can just check out. And once we do that, we can just go ahead and do a npm install. Once that goes through, yeah, we also need to kind of build the local libraries. So one caveat here is that before we kind of even do the installation, so right now, I guess, yeah, so I've got this problem where my node version is not matching the required version, which could be really problematic later on. So I've kind of like given the yeah, so this is the error if you might face if you use the wrong node version. So you can just go ahead, get nvm, and if you don't know what's nvm, you can use cursor and figure out what it is, and kind of get it on your machine and install the 23.3.0 version and use it. So once that's done, so let me just, I've already installed it, so I'm just gonna use it. So once that's done, ideally you can just do node version, check the version this way. And once that's done, we can go ahead and run it again. All right, so this, yeah, so once that goes through, of course, we're going to build it and get our env set up. So coming to our env, so these are some of the most basic ones that are needed. So I'm gonna be using the GaiaNet public RPC for the model, just because it's a quick plugin. You know that you don't need an API key for this. So that's really cool. So I'm just going to use the Gaia model here. And then if you want to try out the Twitter part, the Twitter client, we just gotta use our username, password, and email. And further, we can of course use any other AI model or API key kind of thing, which we'll again dive into in the env. Okay, that's pretty much it. Okay, cool. So I just got the, I just ran the pnpm build after the installation, and once that's done, we can just dive into it. I'm gonna use cursor, so cool. Here we kind of get an idea of the folder structure. So we have got the yeah, the agent, which is like the key folder for the whole agent file and agent logic. And then we've got the characters folder, which has got different characters as examples out here. And this is pretty much where we can also define ours. And then we got the client folder, which is just a basic chat interface for interacting with our agents. Then we got the docs folder, which is of course just for the docs. And then we have got the packages folder, which has got the crucial adapters, which we'll dive into later on. And of course, we will look more into the Twitter part. So, which has got different clients and different plugins, which are pretty crucial. And then some scripts and tests, which we don't have to worry about. And here it is. This is something which is pretty important. We've also got Docker if we want to just containerize it. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the important files. Now, in terms of, let's get our terminal running, just go new terminal over here. So yeah, in terms of the envs, so they kind of suggest this. So, just of course we can just do this so that we have it in the env. And once you got that, so as I've already kind of shared the crucial ones, you can like search that out here and do Control F and or Command F. Okay, so you can just search for that, and so here these are the key envs that we gotta kind of fill for to just get started with the quick start part. So they kind of suggest Discord for a Discord example, and then maybe different API key for the AI model. So essentially, the AI model is the core and the most important env that we got to fill to get up and running. And then the Twitter is also optional, and also any other platform client that we want to use. So let's go ahead and just copy this. All right. Okay, there we go. Okay, also you might want to set this to true. Just forgot to add this. Just gonna get rid of this. And oh, it's there. Okay, cool. So all right, so once it's done, we can just go ahead and also fill up these things. And I'm just gonna quickly look at this. Yeah, so So we can also use the cookie method, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use this method for now. We give our mail ID, used for Twitter account, and then the username and the password. 2FA secret is probably something that we might have to use eventually after we hit kind of like rate limits or something. At least that's what I heard among the community members on the Discord. Further, we've got this, which generally has to stay false, and we've got the poll interval, which we can change as to check between how many, if you want to kind of customize, maybe keep it 60 seconds or 30 just to make it even faster. How often the bot got to check if there's any mentions or any interactions with it. And all right, so that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna fill these things ASAP, and let's dive into the other parts. Cool. All right, cool. Once you've like set up the env, also just want to quickly add that we can pretty much use any model, OpenAI, Cloud, 11 Labs for voice APIs and other things, and image generation kind of APIs, and Red Pill, Grok, local models, Olama, etc. So it's very flexible, and there are different like wallet, ENBs, and different integrations like T's, etc., which we'll dive into for specific use cases. But diving right into the most basic use case, let's just once you pretty much set up and build, etc., and set up the env. Once this is done, we just gotta choose a model and of course set up the env, etc. And the character file is the most crucial file that we got to look into. And for majority of the use cases, the character file is all that you've got to play around with or like modify. Um, and you can pretty much customize it with its own data and context, and or make it behave in certain ways using the character file. So the key parts of the character file, of course, the client is pretty crucial here, because I think generally it's just empty. You got to decide what kind of based on whatever integration or platform client you're using, you got to kind of mention that. For instance, in our case, we're going to use the Twitter client, so we got to mention that. And if it's Discord, or anything else. And of course, the model provider is, I think, default OpenAI, but we gotta modify it to GaiaNet because I'm using GaiaNet right now. So, and then there's different secrets that you can pass, but I think most of them are passed through EMEs. And then there's voice models, etc., configurations if needed, and then there's plugins if needed, if you're using any plugin or adapter, etc. And then comes in the bio, lore, and knowledge part, which are all these parts are pretty much to just kind of describe and amplify the character of the agent itself. Whether it's bio, kind of defining what the character is, and kind of like the lore of what the purpose of the agent is, and like the knowledge, extra knowledge that the agent has. And the message examples is like pretty crucial though, because here we can kind of like show the pattern of the way the user is gonna probably talk, and the way the agent has gotta respond to the user's messages. And here we can pretty much also do formatting and other kind of customizations in terms of how the agent should respond. So that's pretty crucial, and it's powerful as long as you're using a good model. And then comes post examples for generate examples of how the posts are going to be. So I'm just going to get rid of some bigger ones, I guess, because there's a Twitter limit in terms of the size. Okay, cool. So, and then of course there's different things like, sorry, I think. Okay, so then there's style, and kind of like the topics, that the agent is interested in, and adjectives, etc., etc. So this is like the basic parts, and here these two are pretty crucial, so gotta keep an eye. And also one more thing that's going to be super useful is probably the API part and the enumerations, where you can kind of like look at the model provider names, what you gotta mention. It's all present out here. And Further, maybe there's also the variable section where the character schema is kind of present and the types, etc. And all right, yeah. So I think the types for the character, uh, for different kinds of parameters, is also present out here, and any other type of interfaces can also be looked into out here. So that's very useful. And yeah, of course, the clients also, I think, right here, yeah. So we can just look at how, direct, Twitter, Telegram, etc. That's pretty much it. So we can just go ahead once the build has gone through, and we can go to the quick start section and go ahead and run the Trump character, for example. Okay, again, gotta use the right node version. Once that goes through, it gets running, and this is how it looks. If everything has been set up right, and if you followed what I've suggested, this is how it should generally look like. And okay, fail. Okay, logged in. Okay, cool. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, so Twitter, there are a lot of issues with Twitter rate limits, but yeah, gotta find workarounds. But all right, cool. So once that goes through, yeah, it goes through all these things and kind of like gets a memory and gets a context set up. We can, if you just wanna chat with it with an easy interface, we can just go ahead and do this. Oh god, okay, NVM. Cool. We can just go ahead and start the client interface, and it kind of looks like this. We can go ahead and chat. Of course, it's gonna ask for you to choose a character initially, and yeah, you can just go ahead and chat, and there should be a response. Okay, cool. Yeah, of course. Okay, cool. So that's the basic thing. And so once it goes through, we're gonna kind of see these things for the Twitter part, checking Twitter interaction kind of thing. And uh, so for instance, this probably, if we just refresh. All right, so this is the new, okay, these were the, yeah, okay, cool. These were the new tweets I was just sent out. Not sure why it came twice, but yeah. So um, that's how we can make a basic agent. And also an additional thing that I want to add is that if we kind of ping it and talk to it based on the limit that we have set for Twitter in terms of the poll interval, it's gonna keep looking for any mentions, and this is already default built into the Twitter client that we're using, so it's gonna automatically reply based on the instructions and the character itself. And if you want to just kind of filter the usernames that the agent should only kind of interact with, we can just mention those usernames to just comma separated fields. So that's pretty much it in terms of the Twitter customization part. And just to wrap it up, we're just gonna have a glimpse of the packages and the Twitter client out here, which can also be further customized, which I'm still trying to test further to kind of give a really fine-tuned kind of guide on it. But so this part here kind of handles whatever context we give for the Twitter agent to be able to work in the right way. And further, also there's a respond template and there's a handler template where we can also give kind of like specific conditions as to what kind of response and based on what conditions the agents gotta respond. So which I feel like is not perfect at the moment, but I really do want to test further kind of understand the limitations or where things can be improvised. But yeah, I've been testing a little bit, and it's not it's not been that smooth, but I'm surely going to test further. But this is a crucial part in terms of the Twitter client. And of course, I'm super excited to keep building and diving deeper into this. Probably going to dive into for some more use cases in terms of maybe function calling kind of thing for calling APIs, etc., based on specific conditions. And I'm wondering and figuring out, and also asking around with the community in terms of how we can customize the actions, and also the actions part, and also in terms of certain criterions as to how many in what intervals to respond, or what kind of threshold conditions to set for the different interactions. So super excited for it, and I would keep updating you all with more content in terms of how it can be used, and how we can easily get things done, and expand on the modular framework that we have with Eliza. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna share this link for these common errors, etc., and also the documentation is super helpful. And there's a Discord community that you can join. I think somewhere out here. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Super excited to keep building and further keep you all updated with more content on this. And see you all in the next one. Thanks so much. And of course, if you all have any doubts, please do comment it out. And maybe, of course, I gotta keep kind of clarifying things, and keep pushing things to the community so that people don't face any issues. And yep, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much.